Welcome to the Predictive Playbook. I am John Ryan, and I'm here with my good friend and pal, Iris Silver, and you can find him at Iris Silver Magic, like it says on the screen at Twitter. And I'm still upset with you that you went to the Bahamas for the Super Bowl. I'm still having trouble getting over it. I'm here with snow, but my dog loves the snow, so I guess I'm just trying to work my way through it.
Yeah, well, it was a good time, a much-needed rest and relaxation. Reprogrammed here for the second half of the NBA season, and now that football's done, and get some good fire going with NBA and hockey.
Yeah, you bet. And speaking of which, I don't like to brag, but I don't mind mentioning results. And everything's been pretty spectacular over at Sports Memo and Wager Talk. I'm hitting 70% against the spread the last 30 NBA plays. And coincidentally, the same percentage in college basketball over a similar sample size. So we're talking close to 60 games, hitting right at 60% or 70%.
That's unbelievable.
So it's been going good. But I've been doing this for 26 years, so every day is a new day, and I try not to think about trend reversals because we know that can and will happen. But one day at a time, and we just grind it out. SportsMemo.com actually put up a special that everyone listening to this show can take advantage of. It's $199 for the entire month of March, and if you buy it now, you get the rest of February free. 1 month is normally $379, so this is already saving you $178 if my math is right, and you get all of February free. So take advantage of that, and I promise you I'll do a really good job for you. So enough of the sales promotions, which it makes me cringe, but it's a necessary evil, and it pays the light bill, which you can tell my lights are on. But what do you want to delve into first?
Well, let's talk a little NBA. Why not?
All right. I have the NBA odds up, I think. Yep.
So there's an interesting game here tonight. Oh, by the way, since I haven't been on the show since the Super Bowl, I definitely had Tampa Bay money line, definitely had Tampa Bay plus points, and I almost took Gronk to the first touchdown, and I decided not to. I went with AB 17-1. And he caught the ball on the 5-yard line or whatever, and I thought he was going to get in, and then I was regretting not taking him. So all in all, though, a very, very profitable Sunday. And then the following day, I had the Spurs as well with you on the first leg against Golden State. So it worked out well.
Yeah, we kicked butt. As you know and everybody else knows, I was on the Bucks, and what really shocked me even more than my research indicated that it wasn't a game against the offenses like the media was presenting it. It was the difference between the two defenses. In the second half, Tampa was playing defense like they knew the play that was called in the huddle. I'm not saying that they did, but it was an uneventful second half. But because of the history behind it and the fact that we have a human being now that has more rings than franchises do, I watched it right to the end because I don't think we're going to see something like that for a very, very long time. Gretzky comes to mind, and not your dog, Ira, but the hockey player. When he won 9 out of 10 years the MVP. I mean, that too is something that is historic and probably won't get repeated anytime soon.
I think Mahomes has a shot, though.
Well, he's going to have to win 8 to be the GOAT because he lost to the GOAT, and the GOAT has 7.
Got a lot of time.
That's true. It's true. I'm not going to debate it.
Anyways, let's jump into it. So I like. I know it's probably very chalky, very public here, but I do like Miami tonight against Houston. But I would rather play this game on the money line at minus 130, 20% of my betting, and then take the rest of it and put it down on in-game if I can get a better line in going with Miami.
That's very interesting because earlier today, and we haven't talked till now.
Nope.
My treasure trove of betting systems and algorithms and all that kind of good stuff. One of them popped up on Houston today, and the P value on it just wasn't strong enough for me to pull the trigger. It was 0.002508 to be, to give you that number. The closer you are to absolute zero, the stronger and the more meaningful the betting system is with the parameters used. But this one was a betting system that went 57 and 30 for 65.5%, and you were betting on teams involved in a game with a line of 3 points on either side a pick, a win percentage between 40 and 49.9%, and an opponent coming off a game that was a home win of 3 or fewer points. And since 2000, that's gone 57 and 30. But sometimes your intuition comes into this, and you can't be a methodical robot. And I'm glad that you said that you were on Miami, because now I feel validated, actually, that I didn't release this as a premium pick to my clients.
Yeah, I was thinking about Houston for sure, but I just couldn't get there as well. So I decided to run it again and look at it again, and I like Miami quite a bit.
Yeah, that's good. On my side of the ledger here, what I wanted to do was highlight again the P value a little bit today, which is the Z-score on steroids, and that's really all you need to know about it. It's a much more comprehensive way to determine if your parameters are working well together in a betting system. So on this one, it's playing the over in the Celtics-Toronto game. It's gone 29-18, 62%, not bad. But here's the system. You're going to bet over the total in a game that's lined between 220 and 229.5. And the team is coming off a game in which 225 or more points were scored. And the opponent is coming off a game in which 235 points or more were scored in games played over the last 5 seasons, with the team having less than 2 days rest and the opponent playing on back-to-back nights. All right, well, that sounds pretty good, right? Well, it's actually a piece of crap, because the p-value it's just dog crap. It's 0.071. And like I said, you want more zeros after the decimal point. Ideally, you want 7 of them before you actually get a number. Those are powerful systems. But this one here, I'm just trying to illustrate how you can be careful not to get caught in these systems that you might see on other websites and anywhere on Twitter, that it's not a legitimate system, because it was backfilled. So the first error is the total is okay, 220 to 229.5. That's fine. But the previous game was 225 or more points, but then all of a sudden the opponent has to be coming off a game that was 235. I mean, there's no connection between the two. And then the rest is the part that really kind of destroys the meaning of the system, where specifically the team involved had 2 or fewer days, but the opponent is playing on back-to-back nights. That just adds nothing to it and actually makes the system worse. So I wanted to present that, because I've been trying to think of a way to describe to people what the p-value is, because I'm sure people are scratching their heads like, is this guy like okay? Is he like whacked or something? What's the p-value? But it is a very good tool in all seriousness, and I hope that was a good illustration of something that doesn't provide any value to your betting at all.
Yeah, I'm not sure if everyone followed that, but I'm with it.
We'll try to do better. Kevin Riley here is in the house. He's been a loyal follower of ours in the chat room. He's on every single show, which we greatly appreciate. And while I'm thinking of it, make sure you hit the likes and subscribe to the YouTube channel. It takes like 2 seconds, and as you know, we are trying to get as many likes as possible to make this grow and be a really, really good daily live show for years to come. So Kevin Riley says here,
and Periscope's also going to be gone here in a minute, so we got to make that transition. Yeah. So go ahead and subscribe. Search Predictive Playbook on YouTube. You'll see it. Then subscribe to the channel, which is John Ryan. Like, subscribe. You're going to find us there, especially once Periscope goes away. Kevin, what's up, man? Miami over 218.
Do you like that play?
You know, I kind of do. I lean it. It's not an official play, but I lean it.
Yeah, I actually don't have anything to support him with this. So that one of the rare times I don't have anything to say, Ira.
Oh wow! Look at that.
I mean, I'm surprised you didn't faint.
We're stumping the
But,
Schwab.
The other game, which is actually a free pick video that I did. It's on Twitter. You can see that as well with Wager Talk. This happens to be the Philadelphia 76ers.
Oh God.
Yep. I'm still in that wagon, man. There's plenty of room on it too. The bandwagon for the Sixers is not very crowded. I have like 5 seats to the left and right of me that can be filled if you're interested in joining me.
I might have to hop aboard tonight.
I really do mean that though, because I've tried with my math and my models to find even just one of them that would say that Philadelphia is overvalued now, and because of their great start and their great play, and that they should be avoided for a period of time until the market adjusts. But it's also not a situation where the betting public and the betting community is not believing them. It's more of whether they're going to fade or support the opponent, as opposed to betting on the Sixers. So I think a lot of the bets that have been made during this run have been because of fading the opponent and not saying, "Oh God, it's Philadelphia, I got to bet that." So until that happens, Philly is going to have some value here, even though they're off to this incredibly good start. And short line tonight. What does it say up there on the board? 68% of the tickets, 70% of the money. Opened at 4.5. Circa has 5.5 right now, but looks like 5.5 across the board. So that would indicate that you have public and smart money probably on the Sixers, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's times that happens, and it's not a red flag. And after all, the public doesn't lose every single game that they have a high percentage on. But this is a game I like, and I think Danny Green, if you're playing fantasy, this might be a really good spot for him. He's been shooting threes pretty well. A lot of places like BetMGM, which is an app I have, probably will offer you a chance to bet on Ben Simmons having a triple-double, and I would actually bet that. If that's available come game time, I definitely will be on that. So you want to sit next to me, or I'm telling you, the bandwagon's almost half filled.
I can't do it.
All right, I guess.
Can't do it.
Do you like Portland though?
No opinion. If I had to make a decision, it would be Portland, but no opinion. I'm gonna wait. If Portland gets up to a big lead, I'm going to jump on Philly in game. So that might be one way to get me on the caboose.
Yeah, that's a great point. And that could happen in this game. I think it's more likely that Portland would get out of the gate fast, and Philly would have to play catch up. This should be an entertaining game. It really should be.
For sure. And there's an interesting betting flow here, and I think you would agree with me. You got 70% of the tickets and 82% of the money on Indiana. Minus 3.5 on the road in Detroit.
It smells funny, doesn't it?
Is this a spot to back the Pistons?
I was talking to a fellow colleague about this exact thing, and it's very difficult to back Detroit with such a skinny line, but it's screaming to bet them. Indiana, I think, had one of their players is out. Is that what I remember from early this morning?
I don't.
Let me check the injury here. Nah, nothing. Obviously, a different game. Yeah, so as bad as Detroit has played it's interesting here. I just pulled up some of my machine learning metrics on my spreadsheet. So Detroit is 155 and 83 against the spread when they score 111 or more points in the last 20 seasons. And Indiana is predicted to get between 14 and 18 turnovers. And when they've done that the last 3 seasons, they're 16 and 34 against the spread in road games. So there is a pool here. But obviously, at this time of day, it's not on my premium list for my clients. What's that?
I didn't say anything. Sorry.
Oh, okay. I thought I heard. It must have been the mic. But yeah, if I had to bet this game, it would be Detroit. I'm just a little leery to throw money at a team that is arguably the worst team in the league.
Yeah, so probably not going to be a play for me as well either. And then another interesting one that stuck out at me, and you're probably not going to like this one, but it was the Orlando Magic on the road plus 7.5 against Golden State Warriors.
You like the Orlando?
I like Orlando, yeah.
That is interesting. You know me pretty well. In terms of this game, and I'll pull up my notes on this one here. I can see someone's case in point that there's too many points being laid by Golden State. Steph Curry has shot 58% from the floor and 50% from threes over his last 5 games. Whether that's sustainable or not is yet to be seen. I didn't see any chance of regression from the math. So he could still carry the team. But Orlando is like a mash unit right now. They have just a ton of injuries that are affecting their play. And they haven't played well. They've won, 1 game in the last 7. And that was 2 games ago in a home Chicago 2-game series. They won as 2.5 point dogs, 123-119. The last 2 games, they shot 39% and 42%. They didn't score over 100 in both of them. And I'm not trying to rain on your parade either here, Ira. It's just the injuries, I think. I normally think that that's factored into the line. But in my opinion, this is one that just has too much of the way of starters. Like Aaron Gordon is out indefinitely with the ankle. Fournier is out. Well, he's questionable actually. He actually could play, but it's unlikely. Cole Anthony is questionable. Markelle Fultz out for the season now. I think that's new. Michael Carter Williams is out indefinitely with an ankle.
Fultz has been out for quite some time.
Who, Fultz?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that he was out for the season. I thought it was just like listed as out indefinitely.
No, he season-ending injury a few months back.
Yeah, it's obviously it's hard to keep track of all these things, but with those guys out, and especially Aaron Gordon, there's not too many combinations left on the bench for a good quality starting lineup. But I'd like to hear your counter to it. Because this is what makes it fun, You can look at every game and somewhere in the world somebody will back that team and you'll be on the other side. That's why there's a market.
Yeah, I mean, really, it just comes down to the points for me. And I'm not super high on the Warriors. I've been trying to fade them as much as possible this season, especially when big point spreads against bad teams or small point spreads against decent teams going opposite. So for me, it's really just a sell high on the Warriors. They just came off a 114-91 victory against the Spurs on the second leg. And now they get the Magic at home, a little banged up, but they still have my main man, Nikola Vucevic.
That's
They did
true.
lose. Yeah, they did lose in Portland by 9 the other night. But I still think at 7.5, it's just you got to take a stab here.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see how this works out for sure. Um,
Probably a very small amount for me on this game. That's still a game that intrigues me nonetheless.
Again, it's probably one that we both can win by using the in-game volatility.
Yeah, so
We
it's probably
both
a
could come
game.
out winners on
Right.
this.
So it's probably a game that I'm not going to get down pre-flop. That's what I mean by that. And I'm going to try and pick a spot with the Orlando Magic double digits. That's probably where I'll do it. I just think that there's no value in game on a number like this, especially with a bad team. So, and Golden State can put up 15 points in a couple minutes. So for me, it's an Orlando in-game situation, plus 12.5, something like that.
Yeah, I would. I agree with that strategy. That's a sound strategy. I would also say that you're right with Golden State. That I would think it's probably an 80% probability that they do not finish at 500 for the season. So more like 10 games under. So there will be opportunities for sure to fade this start, and maybe we'll be proved wrong with that. But I seriously doubt whether Steph Curry, as great as he is, can just keep carrying them for all the games of the season. It just would be remarkable.
Yeah, John, I don't. I mean, yeah, that's all I got on the NBA. We can move on. And I might take a stab at Toronto.
Yeah, that was a game that came up on the radar as a premium pick, but it just wasn't strong enough. But that's one that I would definitely lean Toronto.
So Kevin,
I think they win that game pretty easily.
Yeah, Kevin's asking about college basketball, and he's asking about one game that kind of stuck out to me too. But I did see some insider information, so I'm not going to release that unless you're okay with it.
No, I'm okay with it. Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. So
it's not bad, is it?
No, regarding the South Alabama game.
Yep.
It's okay if I talk about it?
Sure.
Okay, so I actually circled this game this morning, and obviously John and I work together, and we're pretty tight. So I know John's on the same side I am, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a big college basketball guy, but I do try to use a system called Haslam Metrics. That's haslammetrics.com, and I try to find value in some games and some numbers. So for me, what stuck out to me the most was South Alabama minus 5.5, -6 against Troy tonight. Haslam has them projected. Hold on, I'm pulling it up here. Haslam has that game projected at over a 10-point margin of victory for South Alabama. I've been using Haslam for many years, and I'm not going to stop now. So that is where, there you go, John. That's where I'm getting my pick from for South Alabama. It's straight from Haslam Metrics. John probably has a lot more to say about this game than I do, since he's also on the same side as me. But that was one game that stuck out to me in terms of value this morning when I looked at Haslam.
Yeah, and this is a great resource. I can't say enough about it. It's free, and yet for most people, it's probably too big and too data science-ish. I get it. A lot of people don't want to delve into that area. For me, I'd much rather work with numbers than try to read a Shakespeare play. So when I discovered this a few years ago with Kyle Hunter, who's a big fan of it, and he actually did a case study in the show last night, explaining how he uses the various metrics to identify a best bet, and that was part of the reason why we went 3-0 last night too. and he had two unders, UNC Greensboro, and I forget the other one. Oh, Bradley. And then I had Iowa, just on the side. But on all three games, these data points that he produces every single day underscored our belief that we were on the right side of those three bets. And here again, it's helping to this. So I'm sure this is going to be a show bet for us. And if you have time tonight, go to. You can see what the name of the website is up here, Haslam Metrics, and there is a donate thing up here, and even if it's just $5, consider doing that to help the guy out, because he's providing stuff here that is just wonderful. I mean, it's terrific stuff.
Sure,
especially
is.
Like these, these boxes here make it so easy for you to do a pretty in-depth handicap of a game in a matter of minutes. So the way it's presented is huge. We can see here Troy, 318th here against 203rd. So yeah, South Alabama is not a good team, but they're playing against a team that's vastly worse. The strength of schedule is an edge to Troy, and that's all. And then here you have the average season rank. 193rd is nothing to brag about, but it is when you're playing the 328th team. And Troy's offense is not good. And, I'm not sugarcoating it. I believe they rank 330th in effective field goal percentage. And, they play a tough defense, but it's also based on a very slow style of play. You can see their pace, they're 215th. And South Alabama plays even slower, but they are immensely more efficient. So for those reasons and what Iris said, I think this is probably one of the strongest plays we've had in our first 17 shows.
I agree. It's and you don't find tons of value all the time on the website, right? Like I go through every game, and I really don't see a lot of value. Maybe one or two stick out the most. And maybe one has a reason, an injury or something like that. But this is definitely a lot of value here, suggesting that there's more than 4.5 points of value. So that is for that reason I'm jumping on South Alabama tonight, minus the 5.5, -6. And then there's another game that I wanted to talk about in college. And I don't know if John wants to respond to what I have to say, but based on Haslam, there's value in the line now because the line's gone down. That's Utah tonight, -4.5 on the road against Cal, and Haslam has them projected at a 7.5 point differential. So for me, 3 points is enough to find value to bet that game. So I'm on Utah -4.5 tonight over Cal, even though Cal matches up pretty well against them, and they actually beat Utah earlier in the season. I think this is a spot where Utah just demolishes them.
Yeah, that's a good take on that game. That's a very interesting game. It starts in about 45 minutes. So that actually starts the card for the what I call the upper level teams, I guess.
Yeah, and then there was one other that stuck out to me on the card as well that Haslam has, and I don't know if there's an injury just because I don't follow these teams too much and I haven't really got into this game. But this also kicks off in about an hour. Yeah, an hour, 2 hours, an hour and 45 minutes. And that's Weber State versus Montana. Weber State's -1. And Haslam has this projected as a 5.5 point differential in favor of Weber State.
Let me pull that game up here on the Haslam. That'll be easy to do. Weber State, there it is. Yeah, this is a game I looked at too, Ira. And when we start getting into the Weber States, it's kind of off my radar and my my knowledge of the teams. But again, when you have something like this to look at, it paints a picture of what the matchup is in a matter of minutes.
I mean,
So
look how much
which
more look how efficient Weber State is as opposed to Montana.
yeah, it's monumental. And then momentum is an important metric too, and that's 2 arrows. Obviously, if you have one arrow, that's a modest advantage. But if you have two or three, then you have a strong correlation that should be seen in the outcome of the game. Weber plays a lot faster than the Grizz. The Grizz are kind of like a Troy in many ways because they have to play slow to stay in the game. If they try to get in a track meet with somebody, they're going to lose by 25.
Yep.
So that's another thing where I think it's important because I do the opponent adjusted power ratings, but then you have to take it one step further to situations like this where is this truly their style of play? Are they very efficient in how they play? Like an Iowa plays they score a ton of points, but they don't play fast. It's just that they are incredibly efficient. And playing slow isn't necessarily an evil. But when you look at the Grizz, playing slow becomes a red flag because they have to. And that's
I really think that slow pace is going to hurt them against Weber State, who plays super fast.
Yep. And then you see it here with this these stats right here. Potential quick points off breakaway steals per 100 trips, and the rest of you can all read, right? So they're 119, 11.96. But look what the defense has given them. Montana's 258th out of 357 Division I teams. So this 119 green box is a big advantage for Weber State for sure. And then when you get to the other end of the court here, 3-point percentage. Yeah, Montana makes 35% of the three-pointers. That's pretty good. Weber State will have to be careful because they don't defend the perimeter all that well by this metric. But then on defense, look at all the other areas where they have the green box. Second chance scoring is huge in games that play slow or teams that want to play slow. And minimizing those second chance opportunities is another way that Montana has to play to win. But as you can see right here, Montana's not going to get too many second chance scoring opportunities because Weber ranks 70th in allowing second chance percentage. So that's another big factor. So between that and the quick points scored off of steals, there you have it. I mean, it's a clear sign to take Weber State, which I guess is only -1.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean that's a good bet. You want to make that a show bet?
That's an official show bet. We locked that one in.
And while we're at it, I have South Alabama and Weber State so far. What was the other one we just talked about that you liked?
I liked Utah -4.5.
Yeah. Okay. Utah.
And I had Miami at the money line -130.
And that's in the NBA, obviously.
Yeah.
And then I had the Sixers, of course. So that would be our show plays so far. Now, do you want to, given the time here, do you want to present your one or two top bets in hockey?
Yeah, let's do it. Why not?
Okay.
I'm just making sure that I bet Weber State. So just give me 1 second here. Okay, it's locked in. All right, let's talk a little hockey, huh? In a while.
Yeah, it has. Yeah. You just made me think of the Bahamas again. I'll just have to go to the psychiatrist or psychologist. I still don't know what the difference is between the two of them, but maybe that'll help me get over it.
Yeah.
And for those that are just joining, I'm not a psychotic person. I'm just making kind of a joke that I was jealous as hell that Ira, was in the Bahamas to watch the Super Bowl while I suffered in snowstorms. It's just not fair.
Sorry, man. Next time we'll go together.
I'll get over it. I don't hold grudges.
All right.
So on to hockey here.
Yeah. To kick things off, we got the Pittsburgh Penguins against the New York Islanders. You're going to have Casey DeSmith in goal for the Pittsburgh Penguins with this Seymour Varlamov for the Islanders. I'm going to go ahead and say Islanders. It's -10 both sides. I like the Islanders tonight. That's my pick against the Pittsburgh Penguins. And then,
okay,
let's see what else we got on the plate.
So you're taking the Islanders or the Penguins?
The Islanders.
Okay, the mic just went in and out. Not a big deal. It's probably the internet. So you're taking the Islanders.
Yep.
And we're using for the maybe first time listeners today. We're using the closing line on our bets, but we're also presenting the price that you could have got it now. But the fairest way to do it, since more than half of you watch this in archived version, is to just use the closing line and just go with that.
Yeah, then another game I like a little bit is Detroit Red Wings tonight. We'll try to go back to that well. +150 against the Nashville Predators. Thomas Greiss is going to be in goal for the Red Wings against Yusuf Saros for the Predators. I like Detroit +150, and I also like over 5.5 goals in this game.
Yeah, I like that too. That's definitely, even though I don't really like the word value, it's definitely a value play that isn't just a value play that has no chance to win. You're getting them cheap because they have struggled. They were expected to struggle, and now the market has really made them cheap. And I noticed that Nashville, it looks like, opened at -225. What's Wager Talk say? Where is that game? Oh, there it is. It opened at looks like 250.
Yep, it's all the way down because of probably a goalie. Probably Saros is in net and not the other guy, Rene.
And yep, that's right. That's who I have. Saros is in net.
So if you look at that betting flow, 56% of the tickets on Detroit, but 91% of the money's on Nashville. So a lot of small tickets on Detroit.
Yeah, and there is a big disparity between the goalies. Greiss is actually pretty good.
He is.
I mean, like, not pretty good. He is a solid goalkeeper. I'm trying to find some of his stats right here.
His goals against are 2.9. He could be a little bit better. But Saros 3.68, 88% save percentage. So for me, I like Detroit and the over because Rice also is down to about 90% save percentage. He can be really good, but he can also give up 3 goals.
Yeah, and Saros, like you said, I think that anything south of 90% starts to become a redder and redder flag, and 88% is probably a red flag. And then the last 4 games, his save percentage is only 85.3. So he's definitely trending in the wrong direction. So this makes it I like this play a lot. We'll put it down as Red Wings. We have Islanders and Red Wings. And then for what it's worth, maybe we can end on this. Tomorrow night, I love Illinois going up against Nebraska. And it's very rare that I lay 14 or 15 points on any basketball game ever. But I watched Nebraska lose to Wisconsin, I believe last night or the night before, and they've lost 8 in a row now, and they're probably the only Big Ten team that's really truly mailed it in. And they've had a rough season. They didn't play a game for almost a month, from January to February 3rd. And you can just kind of tell that it's a season that just needs to end for the Cornhuskers. So I think the line's probably going to be 14 or 15 when it opens. And we'll have more on it tomorrow, of course. But that's one I think you can look to book as soon as Circa or BetMGM opens up their lines for those games.
Yeah. One other game I do want to mention is the Carolina Hurricanes Dallas Stars game. Wow, that hurt. We got Reimer that's probably going to be in net for Carolina against the Dobin for the Stars. I'd probably go with Dallas tonight, plus money. At home, getting plus money. Reimer hasn't been super strong in net this season, over 3 goals against. So for me, I mean, at times he can look really good, but most of the time, it just doesn't look right.
And you like Carolina on this?
No, I like Dallas.
Dallas, okay.
But it's going to be a tight game, as the line indicates, most likely.
Yeah, there's a betting system here that supports Dallas in this. You're going to play on home teams that are facing an opponent that's off a 1-goal loss to a division rival and has won 70% or more of their games on the season, with the game taking place in the first half of the season. That has gone 68% on a 25-12 record over the last 25 years, so it only happens about 1.5 times a year. So that one's a pretty good, reliable system there. So we'll also put you down, or put us down for Dallas, and they're going to be plus a little bit maybe by the time we get to the close. Yeah, that's good.
All right. That's it for me. I'm zonked out.
Oh yeah, I mean it must have been tough to pack up your suitcase there in the Bahamas and then get on a plane. You have to go through the hassle of the airport. It must have been exhausting.
A lot of hard work.
Yeah, I mean, see, now I'm glad that I didn't go, because then I would have.
I had to get like 17 COVID tests to go in and out of that place.
Oh, I bet that had to be hell. I mean, that really was probably not fun.
No, but it's good. It's a small island. They gotta, maintain the virus, and they're doing a good job, and they're very careful. So, and I met Julio Jones.
Oh, nice.
And Roddy White.
That is awesome.
Yeah, they were cool.
Did they ask you for your autograph?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well,
they watched the show. They're big fans.
Yeah, absolutely.
Roddy White
Roddy
was really nice. Julio kind of wasn't super nice to me, but I'm like, dude, I don't really care about you, but you don't have to be a dick,
Yeah, and I struggle with that too.
Because I really don't care. I honestly don't care. I just thought it was like, whatever. I'm in a hotel there's like 27 people in the whole hotel because of COVID, and he's there at the bar with Roddy White, and he's just not being nice. And there's like, dude, we're on a deserted island with 25 people. You can be nice to someone. Taking the time out of my day to say hello to you. Just be a normal human being and say hello back.
Wow, that's crazy. Did you happen to ask him what it was like to be up 28-3?
What did you say?
Did you happen to ask him what it was like to be up 28-3?
No, I didn't. I did not. But Roddy was really nice. He spoke to me for a few minutes. We chatted. He was really nice.
Yeah, for those that don't remember, that was the Super Bowl with the Patriots and Falcons, and things didn't go so well in that second half for the Falcons. I think I'd be a bit bitter too if I was a player on that team and came that close,
Right.
And he did make the catch that should have ended that Super Bowl, and they should have won it. But it kind of got mismanaged. But anyway, really glad to have you on, Ira, and appreciate all your insight here. And hopefully we're going to go better than 3-0, which is what Kyle and I did yesterday. And we're 14 shows with profits, 3 with losses, and 2 of those 3 were 2-2 records. So
and I've been a part of many of those shows, so let's keep it up.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
All right, John, I'll see you next time, all right?
You got it, man. Thanks, everybody.
Bye, guys.